So today I'm gonna make a video on what's all into this car, what I personally have money-wise into it. We're gonna go over the mods list it has, and then after we go through that, we're gonna go into what I've added and what I've spent and the total amount that I'm into this car. So we're gonna start in the prettiest part of the car, the engine bay. We got the S90 throttle body, the weapon R intake manifold. Over here we got the FP Red turbo. It's down there underneath the FP manifold with a manifold blanket on it. I just put that on recently. It's a little ugly, but it should help with some intake temps. We have a ETS intercooler. Bullshit aftermarket bumper. We got a Tial blow off valve right there, and then down here we got the Tial Wastegate with a dump tube, non-recirculated. Got the 4-inch FP intake. We have speed density also. The air intake temperature sensor is right underneath the blow-off valve. Running Ecm Link V3 with the best tuner in the world. We also have electric steering right down there. Catch can. AEM fuel pressure regulator with the flex fuel sensor right there. Got a brand new fuel filter. It's hard to see. That's pretty much the mods for the engine bay. For the fueling, what we have is all new PTFE lines, 6AN with the walbro 450 pump with the rewire. JMF fuel rail, also I forgot about that one. Oh, injectors also, FIC 1200s. We're close to maxing them out right now, so we'll probably be buying those if I decide I want more power. We're at like 85% duty cycle. And then for the transmission, it is an auto. Autos win races. There, I said it. We got a Translab Shift kit with the Kiggly end clutches, forced force shift box, and the Evo X paddles. For suspension, we got the Tein coilovers. I think the Street Flex series. All new control arms and solid poly bushings. Volk Racing rear toe arms. So they're adjustable toe arms in the rear. RM sway bar, front and rear strut bars. For the wheels, also for the wheels, they're Avid 1 AV6 in like a bronze, and the Hankook ventus V12 Evo 2s. For the gauges, we have the Aem X series. I believe they are. We have a battery relocation to the rear. I just recently did this trunk also. So it comes with like a flimsy cardboard BS trunk, and I took the spare out. No point in having that in there. So I couldn't use this, so I just put some plywood, cut out carpet, and looks pretty good. We have some carbon fiber right there. I put in a touchscreen that has like CarPlay. It's really good for like Apple Maps and stuff when I'm driving. There's the rear strut bar. We have this wheel that I don't like, but we'll switch it eventually. It's not really a priority. Here's the paddle shifters. It came with this push button start. I'm not sure the point of that. But yeah, she's pretty clean. Unfortunately, that has a tear there, and I made it worse the other day. So I don't know. I really like the 2G seats. They just go well in here, and they sit low for me. So let's go over everything I've done to the car and how much I've put into the car. All right, so I'm reading off a piece of paper because it's a lot, kind of. I originally purchased the car for $6,000. Rough condition, didn't run, wasn't sure how much was left. You guys can go watch the first video of the series when I started with this car. The whole interior is pulled apart, stuff in the engine bay was all loose. It was overwhelming for sure. So I paid $6 grand for the car. The U-Haul to get the car was $400. And then I'll go over some of the stuff in the engine bay that I have done. I bought a new valve cover. All the AN fuel lines. Oh, let's go over the price. Valve cover was $150 off Rick's Racing. AN fuel lines, the whole fuel system was about $150. Wasn't too bad. Spark plugs, I put like $55 in spark plugs so far. Flex fuel sensor was $150. And that came with the hard line, 6 AN lines, adapters, and then that mount was $20. The FIC injectors were $570 shipped. The electric power steering was $486 total. I added a spal fan right there because I only had the one Mishimoto fan and it wasn't enough. That was, and I added also water wetter, and yeah, that's it. That was $188. The turbo blanket that I recently just got was $100. The electronic boost controller was like $40. It's a generic Mac valve off of Amazon. The speed density with the so the sensor was only like $35 or something like that, but then I had to get the bung welded for there, and then I got 2 bung welds on the intake for more vacuum sources. So that was $150. The FP intake was $100 because I had to buy a new one because it's just, once I went speed density, I didn't have to have the recirculating port. And then fast idle air valve bypass plate was $20. It goes underneath the throttle body between the ISC. For suspension, I purchased the rear RM Racing rear sway bar from Mach V Motorsports. That was $270. The Volk rear tow arms were $230. And I think the alignment was like 150-ish. Wasn't bad. I couldn't find it. But the trailer rental to bring it there, because if I would have went there, it would have shredded the tires. It was so out of spec. That was $150 for the trailer, I believe. Bumper quick releases. So those little things. Those were $65 for both of them. The Evo X paddle shifters were $100. I just bought a fuel tank, fuel sender gasket. That was $30. Has a full 3-inch turbo bag exhaust, straight pipe with a like generic muffler at the end with a 4-inch tip. That was, I think, $300 at the exhaust shop. And tuning, so I kind of got a hookup. One of my followers from, like, if you guys have been around a while, you remember my last car. He graced me and blessed me with tuning that car completely free. Hit me up for this one, and he was gonna charge me a couple $100, and I gave him a little more. I gave him like $300. He's literally still hasn't stopped helping me. He got my car ready on 93. It was fully tuned. It was ready to go, and then I decided I wanted to go 85 speed density, and so basically restarted and retuned it all again, and it's where it's at now because of him. He blessed me on getting that thing started, and I couldn't thank him more. So that's about everything that I can think of, and that total comes down to $41.95, and then add some miscellaneous things, an extra $200 ish, probably here and there with fluids and some other things I just didn't count. But now we can minus some stuff that came with the car that I sold. I sold a gauge pod, which was the AC vent gauge pod that goes right in the middle. Sold that for $80. I had an Evo 3 intake that I had no use for that came with the car. Sold that for $275. My old FP intake that had the recirculating nipple thing, sold that for $165. This car also came with car dollies, if you remember. Sold those for $80. It also came with spare gauges like oil pressure boost and AFR gauge, I believe. I sold all those for $100, and then I had a generic O2 housing in the trunk. I sold that for $50. So we get the minus $750 off of the total of $41.95 plus $6,000, and the total is $9,645 is what I have complete into this car, just about, give or take a couple $100. Now, my wants are pretty expensive. What I want to do left with this car is a new steering wheel, obviously, because that it's a boat steering wheel, so it's not great. So $200 or $300 for a new steering wheel, and then paint. So this car is definitely showing its age. So yeah, this car is definitely showing its age, and right here, it's hard to see. Right here, and this is the worst spot, honestly. And the whole back bumper has some spider cracks. And then there's a spot here that he like sanded and was gonna repair, I guess. And like you can see the hood. So it's not the cleanest, and then plus the front bumper needs to be painted. So paint, I went and talked to like a car community guy. He has his own shop. He's a professional guy. I've went to a couple other ones that are kind of like a hole in the wall. They do a lot of insurance jobs. They're probably good, but you can't necessarily, I don't know. I got the vibe like they'd probably do a good job, but does he actually have the pride and all that? So that place was like, I think $3,500. And then the other shop I went to where the guy has a sick ass drift car, I saw his work out there, and it was crazy. It was really good. He is roughly $6,000 to $7,000 for a full respray. He was quoting me at, so that's probably where I'll end up going. And hopefully, if you guys watch my last video, I have this boat that I'm flipping, and here's the motor waiting for the rebuild kit to come in. So hopefully this boat can pay for the paint job. We'll see. I got it for $2,000. I never mentioned how much I paid for that boat. Got it for $2,000, and I'm hoping to sell it for $8,000. Would be nice. I don't know. Another thing I want to do is get some tint. It's probably around $400, and carbon hatch maybe. That'd be nice. I already missed out on a good deal for a carbon hatch, and I'm kind of upset about that. And then I want to eventually start building the spare engine that we got, and who knows how much that would be, but it would be nice to get this going one day. So yeah, my wants are pretty expensive still. Probably another $8,000 to $9,000 into the car. That's if I go with the paint job. That's obviously the bulk of that price. It's pretty much where I want it right now, other than the paint and the steering wheel. Other than that, this car is amazing. I've been having a blast with it. it's crazy how many people approach you and talk to you about it, or just say like, nice car, dude, that's sick. These cars really pull some attention still. Thanks, Fast and Furious. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. My next video is going to be about the boat. I know it's really, nobody cares about that, but I feel like documenting it. It's kind of fun. I appreciate you guys watching, checking out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.